Hey, what's up? It's about time I respond to your hot takes, and you guys left a lot of hot takes on my Abdul Carter no matter what video. So let's just jump into it, man. 414 comments. I'm going to pick out 5 of them that I felt like were interested. Let's do it. All right, so the first hot take is I feel like Abdul Carter fits a 3-4 scheme a lot more than our 4-3. Comparison is Micah Parsons, and he plays in the 3-4 defenses and rushes from multiple linebacker spots. So this is a bit of a misnomer. Most NFL defenses today run multiple fronts. So there's some 3-4, there's some 4-3, and there's a lot of moving guys around. So this idea that like if you draft Carter, you got to be running a 3-4 versus a 4-3, it's really an irrelevant question because we have seen it with Myles Garrett, where Myles will be wide 9, he'll be at the 5, he'll be mugging in the A gap at times. Sometimes he's hovering over the A gap and moving around. The Browns scheme, because they have Myles Garrett, already allows for a great deal of versatility with a lot of their edges. So being able to move an edge around like Micah Parsons in this scheme would be fairly easy for the Browns to do because they already do it with Myles, right? They would just be allowing more of those snaps to take place and giving some of those snaps to Abdul Carter. It'd be a really easy fix. You can be a wide 9 easy in this scheme. And Abdul Carter has the frame to be able to gain weight and be a true 4-3 edge, but I don't think it matters, right? You can be creative. You can use this guy correctly. I don't think it's that difficult, right? I don't think Von Miller isn't Von Miller if he plays in a 4-3 or a 3-4. I just don't think it's that important, to be honest with you. I think this is an argument from like 10 years ago, but like in today's NFL, all of these guys play a little bit of both. Sometimes TJ has his hand in the dirt. He's playing a 4-eye. Sometimes TJ's all the way out on a wide 9. It's pretty much all the same thing. It's just more a bit less about how you want to market it and sell it. But yeah, I don't have any issues with scheme fit with Abdul Carter. There's been plenty of edges that have worked in a 4-3. I believe Von Miller worked in a 4-3. Micah Parsons does some stuff with his hand in the dirt. Sometimes Micah Parsons, as small as he is, goes inside against and plays 3 technique, right? Like you can move these dudes around no matter what size they are, as long as they can win off the line of scrimmage, and Abdul Carter can win off the line of scrimmage. So worrying about whether he's technically a textbook fit or not is kind of pointless, in my opinion. Rich says the Browns are in win now mode. They need to address the quarterback position more than any other position on a team with hopes to win now. I don't know if they're in win now mode, but they're in reload mode, in my opinion. Regardless of if we get a bridge quarterback, we still need a prospect off the bench. I thought you said they were in win now. You have to take the best prospect with your highest pick. The quarterback position has haunted the Browns too far. Okay, so there's a lot going on here in this take. Are the Browns in win now mode, or do they need to draft somebody with the number 2 overall pick that's going to sit? I don't know how those two things are compatible. If the Browns are in win now mode, they definitely need to draft the best player available. If they're in reload mode, they need to draft the best player available. I don't think that changes much for me there. The quarterback position, you need to draft the best player available. Yeah, none of these quarterbacks are that, right? Like if one of these quarterbacks, and I swear to you, I promise you, if I thought one of these quarterbacks were like one of the better players in this draft class, I would be pounding the table for the Browns to draft them because, look, I want the Watson era and to move on to a new quarterback as bad as anybody. But that's just not the world we're living in. And I don't want to compromise the team's future just so I could feel good for a couple of months that the team's moving on from a quarterback just so we can inherit another bad problem. So, no, it's just not there, right? If a lot of people thought the quarterback was there and there was an answer at quarterback, then I think everybody would be all in agreement to just get a good quarterback, right? If this were last year's draft and Drake May and Jaden Daniels were going to be there, we'd be arguing nonstop about Drake May or Jaden Daniels, but we would draft a quarterback. That's just not the draft that we're in right now. It's just what it is. King Cobb says, it's weird how like everybody we've tried opposite of Myles has underperformed. Vernon, Clowney, Smith. I think they did all right. Would be cool to see like a real top 10 guy across. Now, this is a interesting one, right? Because look at those guys who have not worked opposite of Myles. Vernon, traditional 4-3, big-bodied edge, right? Same thing with Clowney. Same thing with Zadarius Smith. I think my personal theory is that does not work. And the reason that doesn't work is the traditional thinking is that, oh, you're on these true pass sets, you're going to get teams to double team Myles Garrett, and then they're going to have to give the other guy on the opposite end a one-on-one opportunity to kind of go after the quarterback, and you can get sacks like that, and that guy can get pressure. But what teams have done is, instead of adjusting how teams have traditionally adjusted in those situations with Myles Garrett, they have just decided to not do true pass sets against Myles Garrett, right? They just limit the amount of true pass sets that they allow Myles Garrett to see. And when they do give Myles Garrett a true pass set, they like triple team him, right? With a guard, a tackle, and then also like a running back. So they just overload Myles Garrett, still have their regular coverage on the other side, and just sacrifice receiving options in order to take care of Myles. So I think if that's the case, what you want with Myles is somebody who can rove around the line of scrimmage, right? Somebody who could be in the A-gap mugging like a linebacker, somebody who can hover behind Myles and maybe blitz from the second level from time to time, somebody who can go wide of Myles Garrett, right? So he can eat one of those chips so Myles can get free and loose on the inside. Somebody who you can use as a chess piece to play off of Myles Garrett might be a better strategy as somebody versus somebody who you have to play on the opposite, like a mirror for Myles Garrett. Think about it like this. How hard would it be to beat somebody in a game of chess if they had two queens on the board? That's what getting somebody like Abdul Carter gives you. It gives you two queens on the board, two pieces on that defensive line that can be anywhere at any given time and that can beat you quickly from any single position on the defensive line. That's what getting an Abdul Carter does for you, and why I don't really care about scheme fit in this scenario, because the scheme is moving those two guys around to get the best matchup possible. And if you have constant confusion on the offensive line about what to go, where to go, and how to go, you're going to open up a lot of holes in the offensive line just by doing that, let alone what these two can do with pressures. I mean, pass rush run rate in the 20s for Abdul Carter coming out of college, which is a higher number than what Myles Garrett had at Texas A&M. So, yeah, that's why I think the traditional way doesn't really work, because teams have adjusted to that way of adjusting to a great edge like Myles. I think the Browns need to add something new to that formula, which is, hey, let's get two pieces on the chessboard that can rove around and move wherever they want, but you also have to account and want to double no matter where they're at. I think that's a pretty interesting strategy to go with. Next one comes from Tyler, who says Riley Leonard is not a draftable player. Come on now. I don't think Riley Leonard is going to be a starter in the NFL, but like not draftable is a little bit wild. Like when you consider what kind of quarterbacks usually get drafted, like he's definitely draftable. Like that's kind of a crazy statement. Like I've seen Ian Book get drafted. You don't think that Riley Leonard going to get drafted? Brother, Christian Hackenberg got drafted. Like, yeah, but Riley Leonard, well, he's 6'5", he's 230 pounds, he has a good arm, and he can run. He's going to get drafted. He's definitely draftable. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it gets this way with quarterback prospects because people tend to get outrageous in the positive direction with these prospects, right? And they go, oh, my God, right? Like Colin Cowherd tweeted that Riley Leonard is Josh Allen. That's stupid. That's wrong. He's not going to be Josh Allen. I could guarantee you that right now. But because people tend to do that, there seems to be a energy that pushes back and says, not only is that guy overrated, he's not draftable. All right. Riley Leonard's draftable, man. If Quinn Ewers is draftable, Riley Leonard is most definitely draftable, right? Like, the bar ain't that high to get drafted, especially at quarterback when you've played at a Power 5 institution. But those are the hot takes. Thank you guys for dropping those in the comment section. I want everybody to have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.